We tend to think that with time we are evolving, the humans are evolving. That's called evolution. And we think that what was done in the past is wrong. That's why it's called the past. But this is a wrong view of the human evolution. Some are talking about maybe we are facing a disevolution. We are getting weaker than our ancestors.
My jaws were underdeveloped, that at some point in my development process, the growth had become compromised, and that had led me to have small jaws. And this had led to a situation where the lower jaw was set too far back, which had compressed this joint. This was super interesting to me. I had never heard about anything like this before. And he mentioned a couple of other things that I thought were really interesting too. The relationship between this problem, or the position of the jaw, and your airway. So it turns out that when your lower jaw is set too far back, that actually can compress the airway at the level of the throat and can cause a whole host of other problems, including snoring and all the way up to sleep apnea.
Also, if you look around at kids, not only are they wearing braces, they're often hanging their jaws open, and they're not breathing through their noses, they're breathing through their mouths. When you try and fix that, very often you shove the jaws back, it interrupts the air tube that takes air to your lungs, and you can wake up in the middle of the night without knowing it and get extremely stressed.
People don't know how to breathe properly, and it's alarming. Breathing is a motion that simultaneously controls oxygen levels, carbon dioxide levels, heart rate, blood acidity, stress levels, and many other vital factors in our body. But if breathing is so crucial, why isn't anyone talking about it? And more importantly, how did people forget how to breathe correctly? In the 80s, global urbanization began, leading to many changes in lifestyle. People soon adopted the new urban way of life, which became the norm within a couple of decades. The invention of modern technology forced people to adapt sitting for 8 hours, staring at a screen for extended periods, consuming easily prepared foods that require minimal chewing. All of this led to first deformities, followed by the emergence of modern medicine, which deemed natural approaches as outdated and presented their modern methods to the public. Despite all of this, no one talked about this problem, and no one cared about protection and prevention. As a result, more and more people became deformed, which destroyed the quality of life for many. Fast forward to today, where it's nearly impossible to find a person with good health and a normal facial structure.
Have you ever looked at an old yearbook from the 1950s and wondered why teenagers or high schoolers look so much older than they do today? There are multiple theories for why this is the case, but the one that makes the most intuitive sense, at least to me, is presented in Contemporary Orthodontics by Prophet and colleagues using what's known as the functional matrix hypothesis. In simple terms, this theory states that the development of the face is dependent on the forces that you put on it. For the upper and lower jaw, which is what we really care about for getting an attractive or a handsome face, the tongue or other forces can push it downwards and outwards, and then new bone comes to fill it in its place.
If you're wondering whether you have a normal, healthy facial structure, you can perform this simple test. First, take a picture of your upper teeth, and the picture should look like this. Using this picture, we can determine our oral health. Compare your picture to one on the screen. If your teeth are aligned like this, or close to it, congratulations, you have well-aligned teeth. But if your teeth are not aligned like this, and are actually misaligned, or if your palate is narrow, it means you have unhealthy oral posture. If you're still unsure about your tooth alignment, try placing your tongue on the roof of your mouth. If it fits perfectly, it means your palate is wide enough. The second test is to check the position of your tongue. Your tongue should rest on the upper palate behind your teeth. This is the natural position of the tongue. If you want to learn more about this topic, I suggest watching this video where I talked for over 10 minutes about proper oral posture. The third test, which is also the theme of this video, is proper breathing. First and foremost, it's important to understand that breathing through the nose is far better and healthier than breathing through the mouth. Scientists conducted an experiment on a kid, blocking its nose and allowing only mouth breathing. After a short time, kid's health and physical condition worsened significantly. Scientists then reversed the experiment, only encouraging nose breathing, and the results were astonishing. The kid's face changed, its sleep quality improved, improved, and its overall health improved dramatically. This test was repeated multiple times, consistently yielding similar results, showcasing the power of nose breathing. Breathing through the nose is more challenging than mouth breathing, and that's why the quality of the air we intake is better.
But what we know is that breathing in through the nose is a little bit harder, and it's supposed to be a little bit harder. However, because it's a little bit harder, because there's more resistance, as we say, you are actually able to draw more force into these mechanical aspects of the breathing apparatus and actually bring more air into your lungs. So the increased resistance actually allows you to draw more air into the system. This turns out to be very important, and it also wipes away a common misconception, which is if you're somebody who has challenges breathing in through your nose, that somehow you should avoid breathing in through your nose. Actually, quite the opposite is true. And we can go a step further and say that if you have challenges breathing in through your nose, chances are that's because the increased resistance of breathing in through your nose, provided it's not completely occluded, is going to allow you to bring more oxygen into your system. This will turn out to be useful later when we explore different techniques, for instance, not just to calm down quickly, but to elevate your energy quickly, to remove a cramp during exercise, and a number of other things that breathing can be used for that can be immensely useful for mental and physical challenges.
Many people breathe only through their noses, but still experience issues due to improper breathing. And why is that? The answer lies in the rhythm of our inhales and exhales. When inhaling, we supply our body with essential oxygen, but what they don't tell us is how important carbon dioxide is, which we expel when exhaling. And are you aware of how important carbon dioxide really is?
The common misconception that carbon dioxide is something that we want to get rid of. You don't want to get rid of too much carbon dioxide, or else you can't actually get oxygen to the cells and tissues of your body in an efficient way. So you need oxygen and you need carbon dioxide in your body. You also need to be able to offload or remove carbon dioxide and bring in oxygen in the correct ratios so that you can perform the kind of mental functions and physical functions that you want to.
Let's do a quick test to determine your carbon dioxide tolerance necessary to establish the correct breathing rhythm. Grab any kind of timer. You can use your phone, and using your nose, inhale as much air as possible. When you're inhaled as much as you can, start the timer and exhale slowly through your nose until your lungs are empty. Then stop the timer. Don't cheat by holding your breath as if you were diving. Note that this test isn't related to your fitness. After the test, there are 3 possible scenarios. Scenario 1 is for those who exhaled within a time range of 1 to 25 seconds. If you fall into this category, remember the word low. Scenario 2 is for those who exhaled within a time range of 26 to 45 seconds. If you fall into this category, remember the word mid. Scenario 3 is for those who exhaled within a time range of 46 seconds and more. If you fall into this category, remember the word high. Modern times and habits have led people to breathe too fast or even too slow. Fortunately, the natural breathing rhythm can be restored with a technique called box breathing.
Box breathing is used to control your blood pressure, lower your heart rate, and stimulate your parasympathetic nervous system. And how it works is you can inhale for 4 seconds, hold your breath for 4 seconds, exhale for 4 seconds, and then hold your breath for 4 seconds. So it looks like this.
Do you remember the carbon dioxide tolerance test? If you haven't done it, go back and do it. The 3 scenarios. Scenario 1 for low people. When practicing box breathing, maintain a 3-second pause between inhales and exhales. Scenario 2 for mid people. Maintain a 6-second pause between inhales and exhales. And scenario 3 for high people. Maintain a 9-second pause between inhales and exhales. For those in the low and mid categories, if the exercises become too easy, repeat the CO2 tolerance test and move up the next category within a higher tolerance. Box breathing is one of the best exercises to restore natural breathing rhythm, and no one talks about it. I urge you to at least inform one person about this because it's surely life-changing. All these things are not life hacks. Our ancestors practiced these mechanisms without even thinking about them. It's only with advent of modern technology that people are forgetting how to breathe. Keep in mind to do these exercises at least once a week for 5 minutes, and you'll witness remarkable improvements in your health and even the appearance of your scalp.